Hi and welcome. I'm Jodi, and this is Jodi Rose Studio, where my mission is to inspire and empower amazing creative people just like you using creativity and other proven wellness techniques. And tonight, I thought I would hop on and just do a quick little Q&A regarding my upcoming course, Creative Compassing. I've been doing webinars the past 2 weeks, sharing a technique called the bridge drawing and talking about art-based mindfulness as I teach it, and then introducing Creative Compassing, which is my new course. So without further ado, art-based mindfulness as I teach it is a fusion of art therapy, yoga philosophy, and neuroscience. And a key element of this is that it is founded in non-dualism. In other words, the idea that the mind and body are not separate. And so that's where yoga philosophy fits in. It's got a really beautiful model or map of the mind-body anatomy called the koshas that I find hugely helpful in sharing with people as we navigate the emotional world, and also, as we deal with so many stresses. When we can start to understand the different layers of our being and how they're connected, it's just really, really powerful, especially when you then start to layer in art materials and art processes. And what's really cool is that the more that I learn about neuroscience and trauma-informed neuroscience, it overlaps so beautifully with the koshas. So now the Western science has provided the evidence that about this Eastern philosophy of non-dualism. And as I said, like once you understand these maps basically overlapping on each other, you can then start to use materials strategically and prescriptively in your personal art practice. And so art therapists do this in all sorts of different ways all the time. But as someone just wanting to have some sort of creative practice, some people like to bullet journal or keep some sort of journal. This is much less of a technical style of creative practice. It's really about learning how to work with whatever is surfacing for you in life, whether that's emotional, whether that's any sort of internal thing going on with personal belief systems, limiting beliefs, past traumas, but the external things that surface too. Certainly, being really busy, just relationship things, career work things. So this is just a really neat system. So if the method is art-based mindfulness, putting it into practice is the system. And this is what I call creative compassing. And so in the new course, I lay out the entire framework so that you can use art materials strategically and prescriptively to address challenges, change, and as I've just been saying, whatever is surfacing. This is a great technology that helps you manage anxiety and stress and overwhelm, but it also helps you develop insight and self-awareness. So this is all like in one simple practice. So it's efficient, it's effective. You can do it in 5 minutes a day if you want. Doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of materials. It just takes the know-how, like what processes and materials can I use to calm the body and quiet the mind? And then what are some like drawing and journaling techniques that tap into the meaning of the artwork? And that's the insight self-awareness part. So it's really cool. It's all in one simple practice. And it's a practice that's nourishing and rewarding and generative. And by generative, I mean that it helps you grow. Through this practice, you have more energy, you have better attention and focus. Usually I do a weekly group. Our energy is always much higher at the end of the hour together. So it's just a really sweet system, and I'm super excited to share it with you. The course is going to give you all of the tools that you need to establish your practice in 30 days or less. I've built an entire platform that supports you in developing this practice. So I'm hopefully going to screen share right now. We'll see how the technology works. We all know I'm an artist, not a tech geek. So let me see if I can get this up. Okay, so I'm hoping y'all can see this right now. Um, this is the app that I built, True Natured Creatives, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what's in creative compassing, but then as bonuses within the course, you get access to all of these great features within the app. And so even if you're not interested in the course per se, this still gives you a really good opportunity to see what the app looks like. So this is the True Natured Creatives, and it's available from your Apple Store or Google Play, or obviously just on your web browser. So this is the web browser version that we're looking at. Um, so when you get to creative compassing, it's got 4 modules. So we talk about creativity and the mind body. We talk about creativity and the 3-part brain. That's the neuroscience. So you'll see there are multiple lessons in each section. Um, and then we put it all together. And within each of these modules or the lessons, this course has a little bit more of the didactic, a little bit more lecture and instruction, but still in very digestible, brief videos. And then there are experiential art activities that go alongside all of this so that you can really learn to embody some of the things that we're talking about and learning in the course. Um, so there will be 21 video lessons total. I'm at about 29 pages with workbooks and handouts and things like that. It will be offered this first time out as a 4-week course. So modules will be released 1 week at a time, starting January 23rd. You can do this entirely on demand if you want. So our live meetings are going to be on Tuesdays from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. But if you're not able to make that, no problem, because I'll have recordings up and within each module. So this is really great. Like I said, this is the system, it's the technology to doing a depth practice. So for those of you who maybe artists do morning pages, those are really popular. They were designed by Julia Cameron. But sometimes people are like, I'm bored with that, or I want to get deeper into my practice with that. So if you follow me on social media, I'm always doing these like brief projects with all different types of materials. I'm doing that intentionally, usually to get in the body, to get in the senses, to get the 5 senses involved, to get movement within the practice. You know that I rarely show drawings. So this is a great practice if you don't particularly like to paint and draw, but you still want to be creative, you still want to be playful. Maybe you find yourself, I work with professional artists who they do this practice alongside their other work to keep them fresh, to address creative block, to address overwhelm, pending deadlines, and things like that. Other people who use this process, people who are in recovery from eating disorder, substance abuse, trauma recovery. This is a great program because of the neuroscience. This is a trauma-informed program. And so we really focus, and again, the other philosophy is that the mind and body are not separate. So we really focus on the mind-body connection through our materials and processes. So it's just great for any sort of, in addition to other mental health forms of treatment, and also as a standalone for self-care. Um, other, I have people with chronic illness. It helps them cope with the limitations of their diagnosis, with fear and anxiety around procedures. So again, like this is, I think a lot of processes are way up here, but way up in the head, and we write and we just kind of go through our patterned way of thinking. It might be redundant, but this process really taps into a different sort of knowledge and wisdom that's very encouraging and uplifting and nourishing, and as I said, generative. So it's just really cool. So you'll, again, be learning this through a 4-week process. Once we're done with the 4 weeks and it's up all the time, like, you'd be able to take it in a day if you wanted. But for now, we'll just be taking it a week at a time. And then you'll have the opportunity, I think it's like 6 total hours of working personally with me in the group format. So all of your questions will get answered. We'll be doing really cool experiential things together, and it'll be a lot of fun. Now, in addition to the course itself, the app has some really great features. So one of the bonuses to support you in developing your practice is to have some accountability and community around that. So the first thing is that you would receive your first month free in my Live True membership. So this is what it looks like. One of the things that's really great is the Arts Prompt Cache, and I'll just go to January. So for each month, there are 6 art prompts, and for each prompt, I give some additional prompts. So you'll see that these prompts are wide open, a word like rigid or transcend. So you can approach that prompt in any way with whatever materials that you feel inspired to work with. Now, in the program, based on the neuroscience, I talk about bottom up and top down creative processes. And bottom up are the things that are calming and soothing. They involve specific use of materials that we'd call it more sensory. This is the stuff that, like, calls up the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest. And so this is like, once you learn the strategy behind that, this would be like the implementation and practice to come in here. And so for each one, I have given some questions and recommendations to help you explore the prompt. And because I think we're so used to journaling in a, like, oh, I'm analyzing everything with my head sort of way, I really encourage different ways of exploring the prompts through use of materials. So this is here totally to support you. There's also a section with the meditations and art prompts. Those are like the things that I do in my live stream, but they're all archived in here. And then we do have also a weekly meeting, and that's Thursdays from 9 to 10 Central Standard Time. It is not recorded. So understandably, some people say, well, I don't know that the membership's for me. I can't make the meetings. I do have people who just love to dig in. At this point, we have, I think, 52 art prompts total within this. So there's plenty of stuff to explore to support you as you develop your practice. I mean, certainly for the next month, as you start the course, you could even do one a day. And then we have, this is another of the bonuses, community. And so there are 4 different threads within the community. This is a place where you can ask questions of the group, introduce yourself. We share questions, artwork. I'm just going fast to kind of protect privacy. Yeah, so here are just a couple of mine. So it's really easy to upload a picture and share with everyone else. And it's an opportunity for us to cheer you on and lift you up and just be excited about each other's work. So you're welcome to post within here, whether you attend the meetings or not. Now, additionally, within the app, if you don't have it already, so this is the welcome page, but within the practice section, you would also receive the 8 keys to creative freedom. And so here, you'll see this comes with, I think, a 14-page journal workbook practice guide. And then there are brief videos, usually like 2 minutes or less, for each of the 8 keys. And people just love these. Like, they're just friendly reminders that are good for life, not just in art. And I think that these are absolutely foundational in any creative practice because they really address all the different types of mindset roadblocks that come up. So as you're learning about the art-based mindfulness, as you're learning about creative compassing, which is like putting it into practice, as you have these tools and different art prompts to help you start to use the principles in creative compassing, you also have like these ground rules in the 8 keys, which is really about self acceptance and being open to what your creativity wants to move through you. So that's now actually 3 courses. That this is a mini course. Then you have the Live True membership, free for that first month, plus creative compassing, plus the community. And then this is another really fun feature. It's just a self-care habit tracker. So there are 3 different areas: your daily-ish practice, your peaceful pauses, maybe if you have a goal of just pausing more throughout the day, and then maybe something special that you do for yourself. And you can just go in. It looks like this. I haven't logged in a while, but then from there you can, and because it's hard, you can't see it on this one because I'm logged in as the admin. But you can keep this as a journal. You can add photos of your artwork. You can type in your different accomplishments, your wins for the day. So this is a beautiful little package that just is meant completely to help you get from where you're at now to where you want to be, to support you in your creative work and your self development and your own self work. And this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment, hopefully. I hope you were all able to see that. It said it was sharing. Anyway, some questions that come up. The self-care, that's a great question, Laurel. So the self-care is private. I can see it. And that's a great thing. I'm going to post something, I think, in the community that just has that disclaimer with that, and probably somewhere elsewhere in the app as well. So it will say visible to Jodi Rose Gonzalez. I will tell you, I don't have time to look. And I think it just shows the number of times you're posting. I don't even know, because I haven't gone into it to see what it is you're posting. But it's my way of being able to, if I were to look, to just say, wow, you've been at this every single day. Great job. It's just one more way for me to cheer you on. Thank you so much for that question. As far as the course, again, it starts Tuesday, January 23rd for 4 Tuesdays. While I've taught this course before, it's been embedded within another program. So this is my first time extracting it as a standalone, although we've run through the course. It's got great testimonials, and we've had a whole community evolve from that. You can take it fully on demand. You don't have to be an artist or a painter to be able to benefit from the practice. I think you guys know, if you follow me, I use nature all the time. We've had people do food mandalas with cut pieces of fruit. We've had people do really cool mixed media pieces. We've had people sew things. So it's just really cool that it's wide open as far as what your creative approach is. But I think that also makes it sort of vague. It's like, well, where do I start? And that's why creative compassing is going to really, literally, I'll be taking your hand and teaching you the method from beginning to end. Some other questions. Does this involve yoga? So yes and no. It involves yoga philosophy, and that's the mind-body connection, that I was talking about earlier. Aside from that, and aside from talking about that, we might do some relaxation techniques. Certainly, I love to start sessions with grounding and breathing. So that's the calm the body part. That's also a nod to the neuroscience part. But we will not be getting on a mat or doing tree pose or doing anything intense like that. So I think that people tend to think of yoga as like an exercise program. That is not how it is infused within this program. It's more in theory and philosophy only. Um, the cost on the program is $147, and so that includes the whole platform package and the first month of the Live True. So that's a pretty good deal when you think about the number of hours of FaceTime with me and like what the regular session rate would be. I think I figured it was like an $860 value total. Um, this might be the only time that I run it. Doing it in a group process. When it goes to like always on demand, I'll probably do weekly Q&As, so we'll be able to interact. But so like if you're wanting to like really have the one-on-one time in the group format, which is powerful, by the way, it's really powerful. This is a great time to take it. I'll be offering it again later this spring and then early next fall. So I think 3 times this year. Now, if you're like, well, I'm not sure, I can't make it, this time of year isn't right for me, again, I'll just try to go back to the app, the screen share again, and just talk about your different points of entry. Because, yeah, I'm just all about getting resources to you. I really care about you learning, having anything that's supportive. Life is hard. Like it's hectic. So your option would be like on the other end of the spectrum would be to download True Natured Creatives or Google it. It's also, you can go to jodirosestudio.com. It says get the app up on the upper right, and there's all sorts of information about it there. But this is what it's going to look like when you get there. You'll have to do a login. And then once you're logged in, you're not into an actual course yet. So you'll have to click on Get Started Today, or the button down here, I'm already logged in. That's what gets you into the 8 keys. So then the other thing is you're perusing this is you can just click on practice, and you'll see now here, you see all of my programs because I'm the admin. But you would just see at that point the Creative Freedom 8 essential keys, and you can just start digging around in there. In addition to the 8 keys, there's also 4 audio meditations with art prompts. So and like I said, this is what I believe to be foundational, and it's a great place to start. And if you're sort of like, well, I'd like to do that, but a little bit more than the Live True, that's free for the first month, and then it's $25 a month thereafter. And so that, for like I said, right now there's 6 or 7 months of the monthlies like I showed you. So there's like 48 prompts there, and then there's 4 and many more to be added, quite honestly, audio things that will be archived in there as well. So that's just a great vault and repository of inspiration. And then if you're able to hop into the weekly, that's going to really teach you the compassing in practice. So the link for creative compassing is in the chat. I put it up a little bit earlier. If you go back to that, that's going to, that will kind of bullet points more of the specifics. It gives you a great overview. The cart closes. I was going to close it today, but it's like, oh, what the heck? I have another e-news coming out next Tuesday. So I'll just run it until next Tuesday. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel welcome. And you weren't able to hop on live, please feel welcome to give me a direct message or to shout out or reach out in any other way. I'd love to hear from you. So that is all. Laurel, thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone else who's maybe here but not commenting. I really appreciate your watching and hope to see you on the inside of the program really soon.